recording the meeting, just for your information. So what we're looking at is, I'll start from the beginning. So what we're looking at the moment is the 3 o'clock hour here on Life FM. And this is the template that we have built for and told Station Playlist, when it comes to building an hour content for 3 o'clock, this is the template we want you to follow. We want you to start with the Bible verse, then we want you to play a cold ID, we want you to play Set Free, another cold ID, and then a fresh special song if one's available. Okay, and so if we look at what Station Playlist has done, this is the 3 o'clock hour, it starts here. There is the Bible verse, there is the cold ID, there is the Set Free program, there's another cold ID, and then it's playing, it's not actually playing a fresh special song because there wasn't one there that it could choose from. So it's stupid mouse. Come on, stop walking around. So it's skipped that and it's gone to play a Christafari or a Pacific song. You can see it says Pacific here, another cold ID, and then it's going to play a Current Up and a Vanuatu music. And so if we go into here, you see it's got a cold ID, Current Up, Vanuatu music. So it's using this template to populate that hour with the content. And when it goes into that content, it's obeying the rules that we've set up. So the rule said when it chose to choose a Bible verse at the top of the hour, those Bible verses are set to be chosen at random. So if you look at, we went into that Bible verse top of the hour spot group. Oops, hang on, I just need to get out of that for a moment. Go into our spot group called the Bible verse top of the hour. You'll see that, he said, come on, where are you? There it is. Sorry. It's appearing on the screen. I keep losing it. There's the folder it goes in to look for those, and it's told to choose them randomly down here, this selection down here. So all the spots that are in this group, and this says here there's 224 of them. So all those Bible verses, it will just choose one at random and play it at that schedule. So, and then if we go back to the come on.
I'll be encouraging her.
So it's choosing one of those 224 Bible verses at random. Okay. So this is what. So if you like, this is the template, and this is what it's done. So it's gone and chosen. Let's cancel out of that. Close that down for a moment. For example, it chose the song just before Christafari Taking in the Sun. Okay, so it chose that as a song to play, and it will play that song when it gets to that time. Now, but if I go into Station Playlist, if I went into Station Playlist at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so it's now because this is the 3 o'clock hour. If I went at 2 o'clock this afternoon and told it to create a new schedule, it will and overwrite the current schedule. It will it'll ignore all these and it'll create something new. So it won't necessarily play that particular Bible verse, and it won't play that because it was choosing the Bible verse at random. It will choose a different Bible verse at random to play. Okay. Now, the reason I'm explaining all this is because if Station Playlist was in the middle of playing Jeff Vine's program that it had chosen for today, it had chosen to play the Jeff Vine's program and it was playing it, and you went into Station Playlist and said, I need you to create a new schedule for today, it would schedule to a different Jeff Vine's program than the one it's currently playing. But it would continue to play the one it's currently playing till it got to the end, and then it would potentially start to play the next one because it had been told to schedule that one for today as well. So that's where the problem has been coming, is that if you tell it to overwrite the current schedule, while it's playing the program, you're going to cause problems. Did you follow my logic and all that?
Okay, yeah, I understood. So I have done many times whatever you said. I have done that one because, but if I rescheduling the things, if because of that the problem is coming. If I maybe I will do again in my future. What I have to do to avoid that problem?
Okay, there's two things. Two things. One is the way to avoid it is to not run a schedule for the while a long form program is playing. Okay, if you need to tell it to run a new schedule, then you must do it when one of your long. If it's just a song, that doesn't really matter because it's only a 3-minute song and it'll only be a 3-minute. Get your program 3 minutes out. Okay, so that would be the key, is to make sure it's playing a song when you tell it to run the schedule. But the most important thing is not to do it at all. We need to find a better way to achieve what you're trying to achieve without you needing to continually run manual schedules. Now, at this point, I'm just going to leave it there, because I want to go back over and ask you guys some questions of the training stuff that we've been in the past, to quiz you to make sure you're understanding, because you should then know why it's a bad idea to run a new schedule, when you should just be able to let Station Playlist run its schedule, play its programs, and leave it alone. You should never have to run a new schedule. And I'll come back to that after I've asked you some questions. Okay? Okay, so Deepak and Anish, you're going to need your microphone on here because I'm asking you guys questions too. So, first question, music. What do we do with music? Where do we put it?
Category.
Category. Good answer. Good answer. Music is always a category. Music is never a spot, is it? Can you give me one or two reasons why we do that? Why do we have to put music as a category and not as a spot?
Because most of the spoken programs we put in spot. So if we mix music and spot program together, the station playlist may randomly play it. That's why.
Good try. Not quite. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Because Station Playlist gives us categories and spot groups, correct? And we use categories for music, we use spot groups for spoken programs. There's a number of reasons why we do that, and it's all to do with the way Station Playlist treats spot groups and treats categories. Okay? If you remember in the back, one of the other things we have here is separation rules. Remember we talked about separation rules and how we won't play the default song separation. You won't play the same song within 2 hours of itself. You won't play the same artist within 2 hours. In this one, we won't play the same song title within 8 hours of itself. Okay, and then we also have some related artists and related titles. And so related artists we use, related titles we're not using so much, but related artists. So for example, the Newsboys, Peter Furler and Phil Joel have been sometimes are part of the Newsboys, but they're also their own artists. So, or Hillsong is a good one to use. We don't want to play a Darlene Check song followed by a Hillsong song followed by a Hillsong United song. It's just like you want a Darlene Check song, a Hillsong, or a Hillsong United song to be treated as the same artist. So we've got these here as related artists. So and these these rules, these related artists and these separation rules, they only work on the categories. And we only want them to work on the categories, so they're only working on the music. We don't want them working on the spoken programs, because if, for example, you had Sunil voicing all the top of the hour Bible verses, you don't want the separation rules going, oh, well, it's by Sunil, we can't play it till another 8 is 2, you know, we can't play it top of our Bible verse and every hour, because we've said that we only want to hear something from Sunil once every 2 hours. So does that make sense? You're looking a bit confused there. So the spot groups, the spot groups, the separation rules and the related artists doesn't apply to spot groups, but it does apply to the music, and that's how we want it to work. We also have, so having told you that, tell me something else that happens that Station Playlist does to categories that it doesn't do to spot groups, or does to spot groups that doesn't do to categories. What's something else that could impact on why it's important that we have music as a category and spoken programs as a spot group? Ashish, you're sitting there, you're not giving us anything. Your turn, brother. What do you got? What do you think there might be? Give it a go. Okay. Do you ever want a spoken program to crossfade with another spoken program, or do you ever want music to crossfade with one song to crossfade with the next song, so as the spoken program finishes, the guy speaking ramps down and the next guy speaking speaks over top and ramps up? Do you ever want that to happen?
I didn't get you. Yeah.
Okay. So this is another, because Station Playlist can crossfade things for you. So it can start to play the introduction to a song, drop the volume of that song, and have this is Radio Shimiki, Butwal's Christian radio station, and then ramp up the volume of the song, and the song starts playing. Okay. So you can crossfade 2 songs. So as one song's finishing, the other song's coming up, the volume and the music goes through that little meshy part in the middle. Well, you never want that to happen to a spoken program. You wouldn't want someone reading the Bible to fade out and the next guy reading the Bible to start talking over the top of them. It would just sound awful. So that's another reason why you've got to stick to the rules of Station Playlist, because Station Playlist will only ever do crossfades or audio ducking, as it's called, to drop the levels on a category, on music. So you never want Jeff Vines to start preaching, and then as he's preaching, it's to drop down and hear Radio Shimiki 96.5. And it was like, what was that? So you don't want that to happen, but it won't happen because it only does that on songs, and because you put all your songs as a category, not as a spot group. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So that's the basics. Remember, we want all the songs have to be as a category, and you can have as many or as few categories as you want. The number of categories you have really is determined by how much control you want to have, manual control you want to have over the sound of the station. So if you're happy for Station Playlist to just do its thing and play, a mix of your music, you could just have all your music in one place, just have music, and it just chooses songs at random. That's fine. But any good radio station programming, you will want your music to sound different in different parts of the day. So, for example, in the morning when people are getting up and getting their breakfast, you want more punchy music, brighter music. Whereas after midnight, you might tone it all down and have quieter music, because some people will just have the radio on quietly in their bedroom while they're sleeping or something. So you don't want raging rap music going on at 3 o'clock in the morning. But when they're waking up and they're wanting to get up out of bed, if they're using their bedside radio as their alarm clock, then you don't want put you to sleep music going. And plus, you might want to change your you might want to have a specific hour, for example, where you just do worship music, or you just do Nepali folk music or something. So when you've determined the granular, what you want to do with your music, that helps you determine how many categories you actually need to categorize your music to enable you to do that. And remember, there are other ways of doing stuff within Station Playlist, but this is the first and basic way of doing things, and the easiest to set up and the easiest to manage. Remember, we talked about the fact that you can actually go into individual tracks and put scheduling restrictions on individual tracks. But remember too that if you do that, they're not necessarily visible from a big, when you're looking at the big picture, you can't necessarily see, and it may impact down the track if you forget that you've done. In a few months' time, if you forget you've put scheduling restrictions on those tracks, then that may negatively impact what you're trying to do with your radio station. And if you remember back, we gave the example of if we put a scheduling restriction that we don't play any on all our, if I went into all our individual rap songs and said, don't play this after 10 o'clock at night. So I can go and, we've got in our playlist, we've got 27 songs that are rap songs, and we go into each one and we say, do not only play it between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. at night. Okay, we do that. And then later on, Shanti comes along and says, hey guys, it'd be really good on a Friday night at 11 o'clock if we played a youth music hour, so we can play the rap music and we play all that. So you go, oh great, and you tell it to play these songs, but it will never choose one of those rap songs, because each of those rap songs has been told it's not allowed to play after 10 o'clock at night. And even though you're trying to say, here is 11 o'clock hour, please play it, it won't, because the individual scheduling restriction on that track overwrites is more powerful, if you like, than the one that says we're looking for some songs to play. So Station Playlist will find something else because it's been told you're not allowed to choose that song. So that's the danger of doing individual track scheduling restrictions. It's a powerful tool, but there is a cost or danger involved in using it. Do you remember that? Yep. Okay. That's good. So, spot groups. What can you tell me about spot groups? Why do we need them, and what are they good for?
I just remember that in spot groups, we will have most of the spoken programs. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
you can,
How many spot?
You can give a specific time for the spoken program or to play. If you like 5:30, like you taught us before, for spoken program, sport program, you can put in specific time. You can set the program as a specific time. You cannot,
Why have I done that? Can you remember why I've done that? Because if you look at my spot group,
I'm doing that. I'm doing that.
Yeah. Why have I created 2 spot groups for Camille Mostly, one at 5 a.m. and one at 5 p.m.? Why have I done that? You can see them here. There's this one and this one. There's two of the same program. They look at the same folder. They're exactly the same apart from their name. Why
morning and evening.
Morning and evening. But why did I need to create 2? There's a very important reason why I had to make 2.
Actually, I'm not making same program for 2 spot, because I'm using one rotation and 2 times right now, but I'm learning. But right now I'm using the rotation. If I want to play one program in 2 times, like a 5 morning and 5 evening, I'm not still I'm not making 2 sport, but I'm using rotation. 5 o'clock morning, same rotation, and 2 evening also same rotation.
Okay.
Right now I'm doing this.
Okay.
But if
So what-
if you make 2 sport, so no need to make no need to do no need to put 2 rotation in different time. So you can just you can put the sport only. So
But there's a very important reason why I've created 2. And there's something that's happening if you've only created 1 rotation and you're using the same rotation twice. Do you know what it is? We have talked about it, so you should know.
yeah, that is not good, because the same thing, same, but song is going to be different, but same rotation is playing 2 times. So that is not good. I know that is not good, but still I'm learning. So I will
Yep,
implement.
that's fine. Sunil, we're going to get on to actually changing your rotation later, and not today, but hopefully next week we can actually get into start making some changes. But the most important thing, the thing I'm trying to get you to know, to say, so I'll say it for you. And here's the thing: if we look at the word for today, for example, this is a classic one for me. I've got the word for today to remember. I play the word for today on this radio station 6 times a day, 6 times every day. Okay, I play at 2:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, 6:30 in the afternoon, 10:30 in the evening. Okay, so I'm playing it 6 times in a day. Do I want to play the same word for today reading at each of those times of the day? Yes, I do, because it's the word for today. So in theory, it matches the book I have. The book in front of me, I can read that, and if I hear the word for today at 6:30 in the morning, and I say that's great, when I hear it again at 2:30 in the afternoon, it's the same one I hear, and I do that deliberately because I want to play the same word for today 6 times in a day. I don't want it to go to the next one. So what Station Playlist will do is, if I only had one spot group called the word for today, it would play the word for today, and I put that schedule in at 2:30 in the morning, and then I put that same. So I've only got one spot group called the word for today now, and I put that in at 2:30 in the morning, put it in at 6:30 in the morning, put it at 10:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, 6:30 in the afternoon, 10:30 in the evening. Okay, what I've effectively done is I've played 6 different word for today audio programs in the one day, because it's played the one and it said I've played that. Next time I have to play word for today, I play the next one, because when in this spot group here, come on, mouse. In this word for today, it's been told to sort alphabetically all folders combined. Okay, and so what it's doing is it's looked in the folder, and there are 406 word for today audio files to play. So on day 1, first time it goes in there, it'll play the first one. The next time it goes into that, it's told to play the word for today, it'll play the second one. Next time it'll play the third one, it'll play the fourth one, play the fifth one, and play the sixth one. When it comes to the next day, it'll start again. It won't start again. It'll play the 7th one, play the 8th one. And so Station Playlist is actually marking what it's played and what it hasn't played. So it knows that it played that one. So next time I'm told to play one, I'm playing this one. So that's fine if I'm doing something like the top of the hour Bible verse, where I'm just choosing one at random out of my big pool of 400 that I've got. If I only want to choose a Bible verse at random, that's absolutely fine. I just need one spot group called Bible verse, choose a Bible verse at random, play it here. But in this program, whether it's the word for today, or whether it's Today with Jeff Vines, or whether it's Grace to You or Faith in the Future, so some of these programs are week-long programs. They are 5 episodes making up a week. And the first episode will say, hi, it's Bernie Diamond here. This week we're talking about finances and the Christian response to money. So today we're going to look at this, and then tomorrow he'll come on the air and say, hey, look, this week we're talking about Christian response to money, and yesterday we talked about your finances. Today we're going to talk about investing, blah blah blah, and then it gets to Friday, and he will say, this week we have been talking about Christian finances. Next week, join me on Monday next week when we start a new series looking at grace. Looking at grace. Okay, so he designs his program as to be played on a Monday, this program on a Monday, this program on a Tuesday, this program on a Wednesday, this program on a Thursday, this program on a Friday. If I only play his program once a day, that's fine. It will play the right things. But if I want to play if I want to play his program twice a day, I want to play it at 6 in the morning and 6 at night, then if I only have one spot group, it will play Monday's program on Monday morning, and then it will play Tuesday's program on Monday night. Then it will play Wednesday's program on Tuesday morning, Thursday's program Tuesday night, Friday's program Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning when you listen in, he'll be saying, well, thanks for being with us this week. Next week we're going to be looking, and we're like, what? So in order for that not to happen, I have to create a spot group for each time I want to play his program. So if I create a new spot group, Bernie Diamond's spot group for 6 a.m. and Bernie Diamond's spot group for 6 p.m. That way, when Station Playlist comes to play at 6 a.m. on a Monday, it chooses the first one. And when it comes to play at 6 p.m. on a Monday, it's a new spot group, and it goes in and grabs the first audio file in that spot group, which is the same one it played this morning. When it comes to Friday, it's picking the 5th one in the group for the first session. It's picking the 5th one in the group for the second session because because that's where it's up to. Does that make sense? Can you follow that? So if you can, tell me what I said. Explain it back to me.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, so Deepak and Ashish, have you got that?
Yeah.
Explain it to me why it's important, please. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand.
Okay, if we just keep one, then the station playlist may play those those audios before time or not according to the scheduled date. So if we put the spot group according to the timing, with another spot group, then it may go according to the timing. I just understood that way.
No.
Okay.
Actually, if this is we need to know the nature of the program, how the program is made. If program is coming 5 days of the week, or some program comes 4 days of the week, maybe. So we need to know the program nature first, and then we need to play according to the program. If, for example, if Jay Bine comes 5 times in the week, that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we shouldn't play that sport for Sunday and Saturday. So,
yeah, sort of. I think I need to explain it all again. So, again, it's about what you want to do with your radio station. So, if the general practice with a radio station, or here at Vision or whatever, is if we were to play Today with Jeff Vines twice in one day, so we might play him once in the morning and then once in the evening or overnights or something. If we play that, we tend to play the same program. So if you missed the program in the morning, you hear this, you can listen at night. Or if you hear the program in the morning and think that was really good, I'd love to listen to it again, or I'd love to listen to that with my wife tonight, you've got the opportunity to hear it again. So if you want the program to play the same episode of the program morning and night, then you must have a spot group for morning and a spot group for night. If you want to play it 3 times, you'll need 3 spot groups for that program, because Station Playlist has been told to play the programs in order. So it'll play the first one, and then once it's played that, it will go, I've played that one, so next time I need to choose a program, I'll choose the next one. But if we want it to play the same program, we don't want it to choose the next program. So the way around that is that you create a new spot group for the second time that you are playing it. Now, I have chosen with my spot groups to call them the time that you actually hear it in the program. You don't have to do that. They could just be called running with fire 1 and running with fire 2 and running with fire 3, for example, or the word for today 1, the word for today 2, the word for today 3, the word for today 4, the word for today 5, the word for today 6. Then you just got to remember which one you put in which slot. So to make it easy on myself, I've named them the time that I actually want them to play. And that's not bad practice, because if we then change our schedule and change the timing, you can change the name of the spot group with a click of the mouse. It's no problem at all. But the whole purpose of having the multiple spot groups for the same program, essentially the same program, is so that I can play the same episode of that program, once or twice or 3 times or whatever it is I want to do each day, and not go on to the next one. Now, the reason this is important also, and this comes back to Sunil, when you are doing manual overrides of playlists. Okay, so and again, it's a bit of a hard concept to get your mind around, but if we go back to my program here, you'll see that this program set free week 28. Now, if Ken, this is a program by a guy called Ken Legg, and his program is called Set Free, and it's always in a series. Okay, so he might have, you'll see that this is interesting. You see that 028, that's week 28, and it just so happens that we are in week 28 of the year. And you see it's got a C on the title there. And that C, it's either A, B, C, D, or E, the program. C being play it on a Wednesday. A, play on a Monday. B, play it Tuesday. C, play Wednesday. D, play Thursday. And guess what day you play E on? Friday. So A, B, C, D, E. So all his programs look like that. So if I go into Set Free, so it is Set Free. It's not gonna. It's a folder. Let me just go in. Have I got a Windows key? No. Documents, audio, rooms. Okay, so these are the these are the programs, and you see that the first week 1 A, week 2, week 1 B, week 1 C, week 1 D, week 1 E. Then it goes week 2 A, B, C, D. So this is for the first week in January. On the Monday, I start with that one. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so the program for today is around was week 28, wasn't it? Because we're in week 28 at the moment. It was week 28C, because that's we're in week 28 and it's Wednesday, so it's week 28C. Tomorrow we'll play week 28D. And because I play set free twice, it will play. I needed the 2 spot groups. Now the reason this is important, Station Playlist has gone and created the schedule for today, and it's created the schedule for tomorrow already. So it knows that today it's going to play session C, and tomorrow it's going to play session D. If I was now to open Station Playlist and tell it to create a new schedule and to overwrite for today, it would actually ruin this. It would actually think I've already chosen to play session C and I've already chosen to play D, even though it hasn't played it. It's chosen it for tomorrow, but it knows it's chosen it already. So it's said I've chosen that one. So it will choose E and play E today. So people listening to my program will have heard A and B, A on Monday, B Tuesday. They'll miss out C and D and it'll go straight to E. Can you follow that logic?
Do you need any translation, Sunil Deepak? तपाईहरुले बुझ्नुभयो म केही तपाईहरुलाई एक्सप्लेन गर्थे यदि बुझ्नु भएको छैन भने
हजुर गर्दिनु तपाईँ
ओके स्पटको बारेमा उहाँहरुले भन्नु भएको हैन ग्रान्ड लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली
There you
ट्रान्सलेट
go.
ओके उहाँले स्पटको बारेमा अहिले शेयर गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ हैन जस्तै फर एक्जाम्पल अब हामी जनवरीमा छौं रे सपोज हैन अनि जनवरीमा अब कतिवटा हप्ता हुन्छ 4 वटा हप्ता हुन्छ हैन 1 2 3 4 week 1 week 2 week 3 week 4 भयो हैन अनि त्यसमा पनि प्रोग्राम चाहिँ क्याटेगोरी ए बी सी डी भनेर राख्छौं कि ए भनेको चाहिँ यो एक्जाम्पल मात्रै हो ए भनेको चाहिँ मन्डे होला बी भनेको ट्युसडे होला त्यसरी नै सी डी ई एफ भनेर 5 दिनको लागि हामीले राख्छौं उहाँले भन्नुभएको चाहिँ जस्तै कुनै पनि एउटा प्रोग्राम चाहिँ हामीले पहिले नै त्यो स्पट ग्रुप एउटा कुनै जेफ फाइनको प्रोग्राम छ भने चाहिँ हामीले त्यो कुन हप्ताको कुन चाहिँ सेसनमा पर्छ त्यो क्याटेगोरी हेरेर हामीले राख्ने भनेर उहाँले सिकाउनु भएको के बुझ्नुभयो
हजुर हजुर
बुझिरहेको छु बुझ्नु त्यो एउटा एक दुईटा कुरा मिस भयो
तपाईलाई बरु केही क्वेशन छ भने तपाई मलाई भन्नु सोध्नु तपाईहरुले अनि म चाहिँ बरु त्यसलाई ट्रान्सलेट गरेर उलाई ग्रान्टलाई सोध्छु नि त अनि त्यो भयो भने अलिकति क्लियर होला कि यहाँ ग्याप भइराछ जस्तो पनि फिल भयो मलाई
अब खै मैले बुझेको त अब त्यो दुईटा किन सेपरेट उ गर्नुपर्छ भनेर भन्नुभएको उहाँले चाहिँ अब त्यो गर्दा
जस्तै एउटा सेम प्रोग्राम छ तर मल्टिपल स्पट ग्रुपमा राख्न सक्छौं के हामीले
हजुर हजुर
कुनै एउटा छ जस्तै अब वर्ड फर टुडे त सेम कन्टेन्ट हो नि त
हजुर हजुर
हैन तर हाम्रो मल्टिपल स्पट ग्रुप छ नि त
हजुर
बुझ्यो त्यो त मैले बुझेँ अब एउटै स्पट एउटै कार्यक्रमलाई दिनमा 5 चोटि बजाउन छ भने 5 वटा स्पट बनाउन पर्यो फरक फरक टाइममा बजाउने भए
उहाँले त्यो किन चाहिँ त्यसो गर्नु पर्यो भनेर क्वेशन गर्नुभयो नि त हैन किन चाहिँ 5 वटा सेपरेट गर्नु पर्यो भने भन्नु हुँदाखेरि अब मैले त्यो रिपिट नहोस् किन भन्दाखेरि अघिल्लो दिनको राखेको छ भने त्यो पनि बदल्न सक्छ भनेर भन्नुभयो जस्तो लागेको थियो खै मैले त्यो बुझ्नु त सुनिल भाइले
ओके त्यसलाई म ट्रान्सलेट गरेर ग्रान्टलाई सोधौं
हजुर हजुर
तपाईको के थियो रे कन्फ्युजन भन्नु त
अनि मैले कन्फ्युजन मैले बुझेको चाहिँ उहाँले त्यसो भन्नुभयो जस्तो लाग्यो हो भनेर सोधे के रे डिफरेन्ट
okay Deepak is explaining you something about what he has understood so far
मैले भन्ने मैम
हुन्छ
हैन भन्नु नि त उहाँले खै मैले चाहिँ त्यसो बुझेँ त्यो हो कि होइन अब के हो के
ओके एउटा सेम प्रोग्राम चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट स्पट ग्रुपमा राख्ने त्यो चाहिँ रिपिट पनि हुनसक्छ भन्नु खोज्नु भएको
त्यो चाहिँ स्पट चाहिँ एकचोटि मात्रै त्यो बज्छ होइन त्यसपछि त्यसले हामीले अर्को राखेको त्यो अर्को बज्दै जान्छ एउटा मात्रै राख्यो भने चाहिँ त्यही नै रिपिट हुन सक्छ भन्नुभयो कि मैले चाहिँ त्यो बुझेँ क्या
Okay, Deepak is sharing that, for example, if one program is set in one spot group, he's saying that same spot group program can be repeated the following day or the other day.
You don't. Okay, you don't generally want to repeat the same program 2 days in a row, or the same episode of the program 2 days in a row. You want Today with Jeff Vines to play a program today, and you may want to repeat that program this afternoon, and then you play another episode tomorrow. And repeat that tomorrow afternoon.
Every day it has to be fresh program. But if the program content is same, you can repeat throughout the day. Like for example, for today, right?
Yes, but the
following day you need to have fresh program, fresh content.
Well, you don't have to, but that's okay. The radio practice is that when people build radio stations, they put new content on every day, not repeating the same program. You could repeat the same program every day, but we don't generally do that. So we don't really want to do that. But we do want to repeat the same program or the same episode of the program in the same day. So with a lot of the programming, a lot of the schedule, when you look at the schedules for Monday to Friday, for example, for me, oops, over here, sorry. It's a bit hard to see, but it's just impossible to see. But I play a lot of like, for example, if I play Jeff Vines at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll generally play him at 9 o'clock at night as well. So I'll repeat the program morning and night. Or if I play Set Free with Ken Legg at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll play it at 10 o'clock at night as well. So, but I want for the listeners to hear the same episode. So whatever he said at 10 o'clock in the morning, I want them to hear the same program at 10 o'clock at night, the same message. And that's why I need the 2 spot groups, one for 10 o'clock in the morning, one for 10 o'clock at night. So they both, although they're choosing from the same folder, they are playing the same episode.
बुझ्नुभयो
हजुर म्याम बुझ्यो
ट्रान्सलेट गर्नुपर्छ सुनिएको आवाज आएन
Sorry. Thanks, sir. I have a question. For making multiple spot, I understood already. Like recorded program, like Set Free and Jeff Vine, they are all recorded program, right? And if you want to play 2 times a day, so that means you have to make 2 spots. And what if we are receiving everyday fresh program like TWFT? We are receiving everyday fresh program. It is not recorded. We don't have bunch of recorded program like 10 or 50 episodes. We don't have. We are receiving every day or day before 1 day or 2 days. We are receiving the fresh program. That means same procedure we have to do. We have to do like Jeff Vine and like we are treating what we can treat fresh program and recorded program. It's the same procedure, but we need to have different procedure for the recorded program, which we are having more episode already stored in our hard drive. Or same procedure we have to apply or different.
okay, you you can use exactly the same process, but, and this is important, the workflow for the production of those fresh programs, so the word for today, has to be such that the programs are ready, available, and in the system at least, I would say at least 5 days before they're going to get aired, okay, to play it safe. So that's a management or a process problem for the production team who are producing the Word for Today audio files. They need to be at least 5 days ahead of when they're going to get played, and you need to have them at least 5 days in advance. If you don't, it creates so much extra work for you to you can't let Station Playlist just do its thing. It's creating a whole lot of extra work because they're not. Now, there's no, as far as I'm aware, there'd be no reason why they can't be 5 or 10 or even a month ahead. You know, they should aim to, because the Word for Today scripts are all available weeks before the audio needs to be played on the radio station. So it's just that would be a management process that you'd need Shanti's help to ensure that the audio production team are always at least, I'd say, a week or even 2 weeks ahead with your scripts ready to go. And then Station Playlist can just do its thing and you don't need to touch it. But if they're giving you an audio file today and say this must be played, that's a problem. That's a lot of work. And it's really a lot of work because someone else has been lazy, to put it mildly. You know, I have a little saying that says a lack of planning on your part doesn't mean it's an emergency on mine. And I would apply that to the situation. If the production team aren't doing their job in far enough advance, then they're making it your problem, and they shouldn't be doing that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. So that is my take on that. Station Playlist will create schedule.
Sorry, sir.
Will create.
Sorry for interruption. Sir, if like the program we are receiving freshly, like the program nature is same like that. If we are getting from somewhere, the program is coming 1 day before only. And what we have to do if program is coming 1 day before only because of maybe various reason, if like that condition, what we have to do in playlist? The program will come only 1 day before only, and we have to do the things. So
Okay, I would seriously ask why that has to be that way, because to be honest, personally, I wouldn't stand for that. I would say no, I'm not playing it. I can't. I'm not, because you're creating so much extra work just because you want it. You're only producing it 1 day in advance. I would look to try and schedule it so you're actually playing. So you've always got a week in advance. So maybe you just have to go back and get some old programs and play them for a week, and then you can just, you know, you're actually playing a week in advance. That's the first answer. Now, for something like the news bulletin, obviously that's different. You know, you want the current news, you want the current weather, so that's different. And yes, Station Playlist will enable you. There are ways to do what you're asking for, but if it is just because, if there's any way around it, it shouldn't be. It should be the exception, not the rule, if you like. It should be the all intents and purposes, it should be that you're getting your programs at least a week in advance before they need to be aired on the radio program. If there is a valid reason why people can't do that, then okay, there are ways around that, and I probably haven't got time to explain that to you today, because that's quite a big question of how to do that. You certainly don't, but what you don't want to be doing is what you're currently doing, and that's creating new schedules to overwrite old schedules, because the moment you create a new schedule that overwrites an old schedule, Station Playlist thinks that everything that was in the old schedule has been played, and then it will go on to the new schedule. Now that's not too bad if it's music and such like, but when it comes to your spoken programs, if you want the word for today that people hear on Radio Shemaki to be the same one as they read in the book on that day, so the word for today reading for today that they read in the book is the one that they hear on the radio today, then you need to not be mucking around with the scheduling, because every time you do a schedule, Station Playlist will think that it's played the word for today because it's scheduled it already, and it will move on to the next one. I can't emphasize that enough. You've got to let Station Playlist work the way that Station Playlist wants to work, and you've got to get your business practice so that your content is ready to let in time for Station Playlist to do its scheduling that way. But that said, there are ways you can adjust the schedule and drop spots into the schedule. It's a manual process, it's time consuming, and it's only a last ditch effort in a state of emergency, if something really, really goes wrong. But you need to try and get the business practices to a point where everything's flowing smoothly, and because otherwise you'll be forever wasting your time to make up for someone else's not doing their job properly. But yes, I can show you how to adjust the schedule if you need to, but not today, because we've already had an hour, and it'll probably take best part of an hour to do it. So if that's something you want, we can look into that, and we could possibly go over that next week. But really, the best solution is to actually get the flow of programs happening in a nice, smooth, and orderly fashion, so that you never have to do that. Is that good?
Yeah, I understood. But next time, definitely you will teach us what we have to do in that circumstances also, right, sir?
Okay. Yep. And you need to get to me your printout or a copy of your audit of assets. Remember I want to know what audio programs you have, what music programs you have, how many you have. That Excel spreadsheet template. I need that so that we can start looking at that and start making some suggestions for the programming on the station. Yes.
Yes.
So if I can get that by this Friday, that'll give me a couple of days next week to look at it, or even if I get it Monday night, that gives me all day Tuesday to look at it and try and understand it before we meet on next Wednesday. Is that okay? Yep.
Yeah.
And one more thing, Grant. We have 5-6 new programs that has started coming from yesterday. So it's daily program. So I assume that our team can create spot for those programs.
Yes.
And put it in the station playlist.
Yes.
And perhaps you can have a look at it and guide them accordingly.
Yep. So if this is a daily program, I would see if you could get some, and it's only being provided on a daily basis. I would recommend that you play it a week late, so that you've got. So don't start playing it until you've got 7 or more episodes sitting ready to be played, so that you can add, because then you can just add your audio files into the folder that holds it. So for example, again, I'll just quickly show you. So if I was to go into set 3, and we know that set 3 was about to play this one. That one there was the one that was going to play today.
Mm.
And so you can see it's got, just say for example, that's the last one, or this is the last one in the folder. So it's got through to there, and it hasn't got any more. If I was to get this one, if I was to get these three here via email tomorrow and just dump them in this folder, then they're there and they're ready to be scheduled by Station Playlist. And all I need to do is put those audio files, those MP3 files, into that folder. And as long as they're in there a week before Station Playlist needs to schedule them, Station Playlist will do its thing and just carry on. And I don't need to do anything in Station Playlist. All I can do is put the audio file in that folder, and that'll happen. So that's why I'm saying the programs need to be ready in advance. Because Station Playlist will go in today and choose the program it wants for today and the program it wants for tomorrow, because it's been told to schedule 2 days in advance. But those programs have to be there. So that's what I'm saying. If you have a week, then you got a little bit of a buffer. But it makes it nice and simple if all you have to do is put the audio file into the folder, and the audio file, as long as the audio file is named correctly, that they'll play in the right order. Because we've told this spot group to play in file name order, and that's why they're named like this. So these play in the right order.
Okay.
That makes sense?
तपाईहरुले गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ यो नयाँ प्रोग्राम perhaps we need to ask for 7 days program in advance अनि त्यो भयो भने तपाईहरुले राख्न सक्नुहुन्छ स्टेसन प्लेलिस्टमा
त्यो शेड्युल गर्नलाई मैम
हजुर
त्यो प्रोग्राम अब हामीले गरेर त मैले चाहिँ गरेर चाहिँ हेरेको छैन मैले अब प्रोग्राम राखेर अब मैले त्यही प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुपर्छ हुन्छ होला प्र्याक्टिस गर्नलाई
त्यहाँ अब उले भनेको छ अब म्यानुअली पछि चेन्ज गर्न मिल्दैन त्यो भयो भने बिग्रिन्छ त्यो नगर्नु नै भनेको छ नि त क्लियरली
त्यही त फेरि हेर्नु न अब हाम्रो यो छ नि यसमा त हामीले चलाउन मिल्दैन हैन अब हालेर अहिले नै उ गर्न त मिल्दैन अब हामीसँग प्रोग्राम त छ त्यही पनि त्यसलाई शेड्युल गर्नलाई पहिला गरिरहेको छैन अब अहिले गर्दाखेरि यो प्र्याक्टिस
हो त्यही भएर एकचोटि यही बेलामा सोधिहाल्नु भनेको के
प्रोग्राम स्केड्युलहरू गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो पनि गर्न सकिन्छ त्यतिखेर भने त्यतिखेर बजाउन सकिन्छ तर ग्रान्टले भनेको जुन सिस्टम छ नि त्यो सिस्टम फलो गर्न अलिक गाह्रो पर्छ क्या मतलब
सुरुको अवस्थामा
यो जुन तरिकाले सिस्टम चलाउनु पर्ने त्यो तरिकाले हामीले चलाएको छैनौँ हामीले चाहिँ आफ्नै तरिकाले चलाएको छौँ तर कार्यक्रम भनेको टाइममा बजाउन सकिन्छ त्यो कुनै समस्या भएन तर एउटा जुन सिस्टम छ नि उसले सिकाएको त्यो अनुसार गर्नलाई चाहिँ अब अडियोहरू पहिल्यै चाहिने रहेछ होइन 2 दिन अगाडि त चाहिन्छ अनि त्यो सिस्टम अनुसार चलाउने के अहिले हामीले अब जस्तो ग्रान्ड like right now I know what I'm doing every day beside of Jeff Vine and beside of recorded program I'm doing everyday scheduling everyday scheduling for TWFT everyday scheduling for like a 6 program we have every day I'm doing that but like you taught us if we follow that one, that will be make it easier for our work. If we follow whatever you taught us, if we follow that one, it will be easy for us. But right now, I'm doing everyday scheduling, overriding. That's why I'm having some issue like that.
Yep.
But
well,
when we learn everything comes in our head, so we will work like you. After.
Yep. Well, it's a wee bit like. Yeah. What's it like?
Sure, Grant. We will try from our end, and then perhaps you may give your feedback later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you may be running out of time. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So the important thing is that we're trying to make our job. We're trying to work smarter, not harder. We're trying to make our jobs easier, by letting the power of the computer do its own thing. I mean, it's a, you know, when you use Excel, you can sit there, you know, if you're using Microsoft Excel, you can sit there with a calculator beside you and do all the calculations and type all the numbers in, or you can use the formulas in the Excel to do all the calculations for you. It's a bit crazy to do both, you know. You may as well use Excel to all its power to do the calculations for you. And so that's what Station Playlist, it'll do stuff for you. But if you're having to redo it later yourself, it's like, why are we bothering to have this this powerful piece of software that can do all these wonderful things for us when we're having to redo it all ourselves? Because and the only reason you're having to redo it yourself is because somebody somewhere else is not, the system is not set up well enough to enable you to have everything you need at the time you need to do it. And so that's what I'm saying, is if you can get the rest of the organization flowing smoothly so that the production team know that they need to be at least a week or 2 weeks in advance with the production of the work per day, that your program suppliers know that they need to supply your programs at least a week in advance of them going to air. If that's happening, that makes your job with Station Playlist so much easier, and you can actually work on the job and listen and make, you know, be working about, thinking about making positive changes rather than just forever trying to chase your tail and catch up and try and get today's thing done, because you shouldn't have to do any of that, because Station Playlist will do it all for you as long as everything's organized in time for you. So that's the, yeah, that's here endeth the lesson. Is that good enough
Yeah.
for today?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Grant.
yeah, we understood it.
Okay.
And try our
Thank you.
best. I'm just learning it. So maybe I'll understand it when I start doing handling the software. Yeah.
Sure. And look, it will
Thank
start to
you.
make a lot more sense. But